it's an entire season of exposure. It's not just 8 minutes. By the time you get through that season, if you've got what it takes, you've been called up to the big leagues, and you're competing at that level. I mean, you can become a household brand. So.
And without him, none of this would have happened. I think that the carry-on is your URL as well.
7xusa.com.
Is this going to happen?
Oh yeah, it's happening.
Is there an alignment with this that can make things fun and help people learn so they can get to people like Ted?
Exactly.
All right.
Then let's make it happen.
7xusa.com coming to a theater near you.
It's functional right now. I'm going to let you go for a bit.
All right. Thank you.
We're going to have Utah Rugby join us. And guys, I can't even tell you, that was fun. And if there's any way that I could turn back time, like Sherry, and like to parts of that last segment.
Turn back time.
All right, bring it on.
I wanna find a way. I wanna. Don't know the way.
So you guys are after the Warriors, okay? All right, this is Joel McKay Smith with Accelerant Aspirability Oticon TV, I guess we could call it. We've had a great time the last couple of days. We've had a couple of parties. We've had a lot of exposure. We had an amazing bartender last night.
Her name is Rosanne. Yeah. She served the drinks.
Yeah. For Utah, for Utah Cannabis. It's all about community this year, guys. The communication that we're getting from Clint and everybody else at Silicon Slope Summit is community. So let's talk about the community of rugby players. I played a scrum back. Back with the Park City Muckers. I think that I went to one practice. The rest of it was drinking.
The Muckers.
Yes. And I had a bunch of buddies like Finyunga that used to play with United and stuff like that. So I have a long history with rugby, but I was never athletic. I was big enough, but I wasn't patient enough, and I felt pain way too easily.
Yeah. That's where the party afterwards comes in, to kind of soothe the soul.
Man,
The quote is, what's the difference between football and rugby? Football players pretend to be injured. Rugby players pretend not to be.
This is true.
Exactly.
There's pain, yeah.
Now, are you in year 3 or 4?
5.
Holy shit.
5+.
5+.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Going into year 6 next year. Yeah.
That's amazing. I mean, we were talking to Kimball about the possibility of the area by the Peace Gardens at one point. Did you hear about that thing for the stadium?
For a brand new stadium?
Yeah. Well, there was a talk about being able to get the ZAP tax, to be able to get some money, to be able to do it. It was during Ralph Becker's administration that we were having that conversation. Kimball's a great guy. He's an interesting dichotomy between the tech industry and the passion for something.
Oh, absolutely. He wants to be, just like the sport itself and technology where he comes from, he wants it to be disruptive. Yeah. And your story is a perfect story because everyone we meet or we talk to, or hey, I played here, or I have a niece that plays here.
I pretended to play. I just like to say I played rugby because I was there for one game, but
But still, everyone, there's a touch point for rugby.
And then you had Kenny in the early days too, and I've known him from college and stuff like that. And so the parallels are awesome here. I mean, what I'd really like to do is staying with the theme of what we've been doing. The magic about asking who you are, what you do, and what you need. Let's do it personally. We know that you're growing. We're knowing that you're here to stay. Yeah. We're knowing that you're being able to bring something to the Polys that they have always needed. And it's so cool.
The Polynesian culture in Utah is just
awesome.
Growing.
Yeah.
It's awesome, and it's in the fabric of what we do in rugby.
Yeah.
To quote your word, yes.
I mean,
well, and when you bring up community, that's the 4 values of the rugby: community, family, tradition, respect.
Yeah.
That's our values. So community is in what we do. So yeah.
What do you need?
Well, we need sponsorships.
Yeah.
Tom and I
we
are
need
all
you.
partnerships. Yes.
Yeah.
What's the ask that you guys need for the next year? Anybody that's out there, pay attention here.
Yes.
Yeah.
We can start as little as sponsoring a player for $15,000. Your brand goes on a jersey. You get dinner. There's all kinds of bells and whistles.
Have you been able to reach out to any of like the Polynesian community that are retired players and stuff like that? Because there's a bunch of them up in like Cottonwood Heights and stuff like that.
Not just Polynesian players, it's people who have played rugby, who own their own businesses right now, who are growing or helping the sport grow. And they've been great contributors and great partners for us.
And we're also at Silicon Slopes, where we've got a lot of new tech companies that have money to spend in marketing, and our barrier to entry is so much less than a professional sports team. So yes.
Ted,
Come back here, Ted.
Thanks, Ted.
I just wanted to say thank you very, very much. Thank you.
Peace out, Ted.
So yeah, those companies, even tech companies that just want to get their name, their branding in front of people, a great way.
Isn't
Yeah.
rugby a tech company? I mean, isn't it kind of a tech business?
It's a growing business. It's a lot like the tech companies right now.
So it's
'Cause
exponential.
we have something that's growing that we want people to be part of, who can come participate at every level.
Okay, awesome. Let's talk about the development level of rugby and how young you can go. I mean, we see little mighty tights, you know, for football.
Tights, yeah.
Have you guys started
Yeah.
that type of a? And my kids all went through lacrosse.
Yeah.
Well, really, my oldest son. But are you starting to get that going as well?
Yeah. Can I jump in and talk about
Please,
that?
go.
And this is something I'm passionate about, so I'm glad that you brought it up. But the Junior Warriors program, growing, Ashley Burge, USA Eagles, she's running and managing the program. But she's not just running and managing a program. She ate, slept, and would breathe the program as she grew up in it. And it starts with values, like you had mentioned. Everything starts with values. So when we teach rugby to those youth, the first thing that they learn are the values, and then they learn the sport. So, and not just men, women, girls. It's fast, it's athletic, it's cool. It's got all those factors that's growing. They don't want to be just like what their mom or dad did, following basketball or football. They want something unique that's unique to them, that they want to grow with.
And that program is our Pathways program. So
Right.
we can start them as little as 4 years old. We've had in our Junior Warriors
I
program.
had no
Yeah.
idea.
Oh yeah, Junior
Yeah.
Warriors, which Ashley is over, and then we go up to the U14, 18, up to the Selects, which is our semi-pro, and then hopefully up to the Warriors, which is the pro team.
It's something that lacrosse just went through 3 years ago. Let's talk about a big, hairy, audacious goal.
Very audacious goal.
Utah high school athletics. Is there a future of rugby being a sanctioned sports in Utah high schools? Is that something you can do? Took lacrosse a little while. Rugby's been here longer. You've got the most famous rugby movie ever, the most famous culture that came out of Highland High School. Some incredible things that are all Utah centric, but we don't have the sport sanctioned. What can we do about that?
Well, it's so funny because Harriman High School just won the national championship
Yeah.
for rugby, the club teams, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's obviously the desire. It starts at that education, the Board of Education.
And it's better because it's something that can tie into what you're doing with the culture, with them having the academic expectations that are aligned with it. So it's a congruent approach to how sports should be done.
Yep.
Yeah. Values, education, having teamwork, all those things are great.
The data's there. Kids that play sports do better in school because you have to. You have to maintain that GPA. You have to, all your life lessons are taught in sports.
Yep.
Accountability, showing up, teamwork. It's all taught. I mean, it's right
I
there.
want to talk about where my worlds collide, okay? I'm obviously an advocate for cannabis. I am mixed on recreational for reasons that have more to do with economics than they do with anything from a morality play. I am a semi-regular cannabis user for pain and arthritis, and I am under the care of a QMP. The thing I like about rugby being sanctioned is you're going to keep the kids off the pot. They can't play, but they test. And I'm not saying that it's not okay for kids to smoke dope or whatever, but they do. And the human brain is not ready to make that decision until puberty is done.
So they're a little bit older, yeah.
Yep.
And so, I mean, this is a sensitive subject, folks, but it's a true, cogent concern of a parent to understand that kids that can't get pesticide or laced-free cannabis that could end up with fentanyl or whatever and stuff like that. If you can get them into a sporting program when they know they can't suit up until they're a little bit older to make the choices that are necessary. I've seen too many kids lost. I just,
Yep. Especially in our state.
Yeah,
Yes.
we make a lot
Yeah.
of bad choices when we're young. Good choices and bad choices.
oh, I mean, it's okay for the kids to smoke the dope and everything as long as it wasn't something that's going to kill them. How old were those kids? Do you want to talk about this? It's a little too close to home, I know, but I mean, I'm not going to lecture anybody about this. I mean, I'm obviously an open advocate for it, but the beautiful thing about Proposition 2 is people have accessibility to something where they're not going to die. It may be more expensive, but they're not going to die. One of the next things we're going to talk about here is getting rid of the frickin' tax on food. This is one of our representatives back here that's going forward. If we can affect change on things that do not affect people equally, I mean, we've got to go forward.
But positive things, right?
Yes, positive things. I mean,
That's what we all want.
Well, Tim was, Clint was just talking about it. We have the ability to affect change. And Michael, when those kids went down, it echoed some of the conversations that we've had. And it's not right, it's not wrong from the kid level, but if they're getting poisoned and they're dying, go figure. Okay. That was a little bit too real.
That was fantastic. It brings up important subjects. It brings up the good and the bad, and I think we all have an opinion, and we all want to have good values. We all want to do good things. So
fast forward to 2032.
Woo!
holy
31.
smokes!
World Cup.
Is that it? Is that your goal?
31. Well, the World Cup is actually coming to the United States.
Of
So you're
rugby.
talking something factual.
Yes.
Yeah.
But what are you talking about?
Well, that's what I was asking.
The
about.
future of Utah Warriors in rugby.
Instead of like
Yeah.
with Cher when we were talking about I could turn back time. I mean, imagine me in fishnets.
Oh my gosh! Please, can we see that?
No.
Could we not see that?
But thinking forward in 10 years from now, what are some of the things societally? Are we going to still be here? I mean,
Absolutely.
Big,
I'm not
hairy,
talking about
audacious
that.
goal, right?
Well, I'm
Yeah.
just talking us as humans. I mean, we got some pretty messed up things
Well,
right now.
did you talk
But
to
I mean,
Bruce Lipton about that? About where are we going to be in 10 years? You know,
That I can't answer.
we need
But the rugby we plan to.
Well, it's what I can control. Yes, Marion Timpson, this one's for you. What I can control and what I can't control. Okay, what I can control, I'm going to own. What I can't control, I'm going to try to influence. That's all we can do. But if you have a position of apathy, where you're not in a position of trying to influence something where you can affect change, then you've given up. Have you given up?
Oh, never.
Oh, yeah.
Have you given up?
No way.
Did you get properly compensated last night?
Oh, yes, I did. Lots of compliments. Thank you.
Side note.
Yeah.
Side note, 2 minutes. Will you talk about last night, the experience, the people you saw there, the different dichotomy?
Stand over here, right in the
Yeah.
center. Rosanne Simpson,
Because
everybody.
a lot of people didn't know who you were. You were just the bartender.
Well, and it was really funny how that all worked. So Oz called me the day before because I've known Oz. He's done lots of events, and he saw me come in. He goes, "Oh, good. Can you bartend tonight?" And I'm like, "Yes, it can." So it was that quick and that simple. But it was great people. It was great discussions. It was great networking.
It was fun.
It was fun. Yeah.
It was fun. I mean, I think at the Max last night, we maybe had 120
yeah.
people there. I'd prefer to have 120 quality people
All day long.
over asses to elbows any day of the week.
Yep.
And so, I love you
Yeah.
guys, man.
Thank you
Tell
so
Kimball
much.
hello.
We will.
Yep.
Keep the faith. Keep working forward. And I mean, it's just, again, own what you can control. Influence what you can. We got to sing a song. You guys,
If I can. Oh, what song?
you can do that. if you want to.
What song are we singing?
Start it out.
Start it out. We'll
I don't
come
know
in.
that song.
You don't?
Nope.
I'll start it out.
Go.
If we could turn back time.
If I could find a way.
I'd go to the Warriors and enjoy some rugby.
Woo!
Yes! All right, all the way around.
Boom. Group hug.
Thank you. Judy, come on out. Hey, Judy, do you want a chair? Are you okay standing?
I'm sorry, what?
Are you okay standing or do you want a chair?
No, I'm okay.
Okay, thank you. What is your last name, Judy?
I'm Judy Weeks Roner, Representative Judy Weeks Roner.
And what is your district number?
I'm District 30, which encompasses West Valley City.
Wonderful. What is your passion?
My passion is to remove the state portion of the food tax.
Didn't we have $100 million surplus last year? Or was it over in the billions?
It was much more than millions.
Then why are people that can't afford to eat paying sales tax on food?
I keep asking the same question.
Well,
I'm.
get her a chair. We're going to have a little bit of a fireside chat here, gosh darn it.
Do you know that I did was one of the leaders of the 2019 tax referendum?
Well, I remember the referendum.